I will lobby if I need to. I will lobby very, very diligently because he's outstanding. He should be good. I mean, I can't imagine he's as good as there is in the country. People have such unbelievable respect for Todd Blanche, so hopefully that won't be necessary. I spoke to some people, I did, but hopefully it'll all work out very well for the country because you're not going to find better than Todd Blanche.
Will you reach out to Senator Murkowski, Senator Cassidy, for instance?
Let's see if we need anybody. I'll reach out to whoever I have to, but anybody voting against him would be doing a great disservice to the country, please.
With justice in America on the line, let's bring in Rhode Island Democratic Senator Sheldon Whitehouse. He is on the Judiciary Committee and is the first committee member to join MS Now since the vote this morning. Senator, thank you so much for being with us. You were in the room where it happened. Tell us what it looked like, what it felt like, and how you were feeling now that the vote is over.
What was astounding was at the end of the day, after the long negotiations and the delay in confirming Todd Blanche, how little the Republican senators got for their efforts. Basically, Blanche did nothing more than write down what he had already told them, but none of it was in the form of any kind of an enforceable agreement. It did nothing to solve the problem that Senator Cornyn himself raised, that Trump still has claims against the government under the original agreement. It doesn't prevent Trump from pursuing those. It doesn't prevent Blanche from doing Slush Fund 2.0, just giving it a new number and a new name. And it certainly doesn't prevent them from opening what I call the drive-by window, like in an ice cream store, where MAGA offenders, cop beaters from January 6th, can come in and get a quick and easy free settlement under the Federal Tort Claims Act and dole out money that way. So it was really kind of stunning how weak the result was at the end of the day.
So then why do it? If you're Cornyn, if you are Tillis, why drag your feet for what amounts to a pinky promise?
I can't go to their motives. To me, it doesn't make sense. First of all, it doesn't solve the problem they said they wanted to solve. Second, it doesn't change the character of the man who entered into those sleazy deals. I used the example of a burglar. The burglar gives back some of the jewelry he stole. He's still a burglar. He still was engaged in that misconduct. And if you had any doubt about that, just go down to the Florida court where Todd Blanche's conduct is being examined for potential fraud upon the court, the worst thing that a lawyer can be accused of, so rare that it's never happened before to any senior Department of Justice lawyer in the entire history of the Department of Justice. And yet for this guy, it's still an open inquiry.
I think for a lot of folks, they watch what transpired today. They understand everything you're saying about the ways in which a fund like this could reemerge in any number of forms. What then can the Senate do about it? What's the back check on a future fund, a future deal?
Well, I suppose that in the immediate term, senators who are up for re-election or who are not facing re-election could object and say, until this is fixed, we are going to stop allowing nominees forward. We are not going to clear bills. They could use the tools of the Senate to try to enforce their objection. The problem is they had those tools right now and failed to use them. So it doesn't set a very high bar for what they might do in the future. But do bear in mind that he still needs to clear the floor. And there are plenty of other Republican senators who are not yet sold on all of this. Again, go back to that fraud on the court thing. This has never happened before in United States history. The guy's being put forward while there's a fraud on the court investigation. It's kind of unbelievable, and it puts Republicans in a terrible place for November.
All right, we're going to come back to what you think that full vote looks like, but I want to talk about Blanche's mishandling of the Epstein files. It was something you focused on today as a key reason why you opposed him. Epstein survivor Danny Bensky was in the committee room to watch the vote firsthand. Our own Michael Schnell talked to Danny about what's next. Take a listen.
What would be your message now to Senator Murkowski, Senator Collins, Senator Cassidy, as, again, this was a significant hurdle for Todd Blanche, but it's not the entire ball game. What would be your message to them in the lead up to this final vote?
Yeah, to please take a meeting with us, because there's so much information that we have to share, not just investigative leads, but just how this process has gone down for the 5 administrations and 30 years. There's just a lot of ground to cover. So I would say take a meeting with us, and we'll be able to get you the information you need.
Senator, help me understand what you think could happen between now and the final vote that could keep Todd Blanche from being confirmed.
You know, I think Republicans have, they're between an Epstein and a Blanche place, between a rock and a hard place over the Epstein stuff. Because Blanche is put squarely in charge by Pam Bondi. She's testified that the buck stops with him. And he's been hiding stuff, and they know it. He first tried to hide the FBI 302s, the agent reports that specifically referred to allegations that President Trump, Donald Trump, sexually and physically assaulted a girl around 14 years old. When those got caught out, they had to produce the 302s, but they still haven't produced the agent's notes that they used to review, to write up the 302. We know that there are 37 pages missing. So, what's up with that? And then you've got billions of dollars of Epstein transactions that generated Treasury suspicious activity reports. And evidently them being called suspicious activity reports wasn't enough of a clue to Blanche to investigate for suspicious activity. So that whole arena of Epstein's financial misconduct was left just completely uncovered. And then his trip down to Ghislaine Maxwell to buy her silence about Trump with an improvement in her status to a club-fed prison situation. You just pile all that stuff up, and it's really hard to not have Jeffrey Epstein stick to people who vote to confirm Todd Blanche.
I heard a lot of people refer to this not as a job interview, but a performance review, given the amount of time that Todd Blanche has already had an opportunity to show us what he would be like as AG in his acting capacity. We got another indication of what he might do if he gets the job full time. He dialed into a White House faith call just a few days ago. And on that call, he talked about plans to roll back abortion access nationwide. Take a listen.
Rest assured that we're working, hand in hand with HHS and the FDA and the White House and President Trump's team to get permanent solutions so that the Dobbs decision becomes permanent in every single state.
Beyond the weaponization fund, beyond the IRS settlement, beyond the Epstein files, what other horrors could await on the other side of this confirmation?
It is the question that has to worry Republican senators. His record is so bad looking backwards that it's very, very hard to say that looking forwards is going to be any better. And having voted for the guy, they're going to own all of his future misconduct, all of his future political decisions, all of his future defense of his primary client, Donald Trump. It isn't going to be pretty.
And as you said when you were in the first hearing with Todd Blanche, and he will own Kash Patel. Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Leading off our coverage tonight is Senator Sheldon Whitehouse of Rhode Island. He serves on the Senate Judiciary Committee and the Senate Finance Committee. Senator, what is your reading of these? Some people have referred to these things today as documents. I can't even call them documents. These two pieces of paper that Todd Blanche made public.
Well, the old saying is they're not worth the paper that they're printed on. And it's a